Hi there. This is Terry. We'll just wait a few minutes and see if we have some people joining us. If you are joining, just make sure that you put a comment so I know you're here. I'm trying to type here. Just give it another minute or two. I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but Harley keeps jumping up on the chair so she can look out the window. So she jumps up, she jumps down, she jumps up, she jumps down. All right. So I'm going to get started. This is my first coffee and a card virtually. And I wanted to do this just to kind of interact with everyone and hopefully going to try and do this every Monday night at 7 o'clock. And so I have my tea as usual. If you've been to any of my classes, you know that I drink tea. So I have my blueberry tea with my mug here. It says Canadian fast food, bear chasing a little stick man. All right. So let me know what you're drinking. And we are going to sit back, enjoy. We're going to chat. The purpose of these is, like I said, just to interact with everyone. And so I want to share, I don't know, personal stuff, chat, that kind of thing. And then we'll get into making a card too. All right. So hopefully these are a nice respite for you for, a little bit of time during the night where you can just sit back, relax. You can just watch and see what I'm creating, or I always post the supplies so you can join in. If you don't have exactly what I'm using, you can go ahead and use whatever you want. All right. So I just got back from Nashville and it was very hot and it was quite the shock to come back to the crappy weather that Airdrie is having at the moment. So it was kind of nice to see the sunshine today, and hopefully that stays around a little bit longer. Although I think from what the forecast said, it's only going to be here for another day or so. So I need to get my butt outside and get some stuff done. And this week, I am hopefully working on some class projects. I have a class coming up the end of June, Thoughtful Wishes class. I'm doing it by mail if you can't join in person, as well as an in-person class. So sign up. I'd love to see you. And yeah, I don't know what else is going on. It's been pretty boring lately. Nice to be back home, although, like I said, the weather wasn't great. And so just working on some stuff outside this week and trying to get back. I'm off this week, so I'm not working. But there's always stuff to do, right? So I'm going to start getting some stuff done around the house, hopefully. And yeah, and get some crafting done. I would love to know actually if you would be interested in seeing some scrapbooking layouts as well. So that might be something that I might be featuring later on. All right, so let's get into a card here. We'll change the view down here. Here we go. All right, so this is my card. And it was inspired by another demonstrator. You will actually see the card on my social media tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow or the next day. Excuse me. And so the thing that I liked about this card was the simplicity, but also the way that it's layered, the texture, the change in texture, I guess I would say. So you have these squares here that are layered, and it's all monochromatic, but you can see that texture change from the embossing background to those. And I really liked that. So I wanted to create something like that. All right. And so for this one, I used the Thoughtful Wishes stamp set as well. So let's go ahead and put a card together. All right. So we've got my card base. And we're just going to fold that. So this is just some Whisper White, or Basic White, I guess. Used to be Whisper White. Fake cardstock we're going to use for the base. All right. Okay, and for this, I actually went ahead and did this ahead of time. So magic of television. We have the Basics 3D embossing folder. That's actually a 3 set. And so we're using this one here. All right. And so I've already done that. So what I'm going to do is, if you want to go ahead and emboss, so this piece of paper is 4 by 5 1/4. All right. Of course, our card base is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And so if you want to go ahead, if you're playing along with me, go ahead and cut and emboss your layer for your top. I'll give you a second to go ahead and do that. I like that these embossing folders come in a 3-pack. It's kind of nice to have those different varieties there. Very economical. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to my card front. So you can do that. And don't forget, you can come back and watch this again. So don't worry if you're missing something, or if I go a little bit too quickly, or I'm doing something that you're not at yet. No worries. This is all about relaxing and just putting a card together and having a nice moment tonight, all right? No pressure here. So I'm just going to do that down. There we go. All right. Perfect. Hopefully you are close to that step there. All right. I'm going to grab my mini embossing sheet. Cut and emboss. All right. And so I'm going to start with my squares. I'm going to do 3 squares, right? So I've got my white piece of paper. And this is just a scrap piece. And I've got 3 squares. All right, now these are from the Stylish Shapes die pack. And I am going to put them on here. Now, to not waste paper on this one, I'm actually going to die cut one in the middle. These are all going to be covered up, so it won't really matter. And we aren't wasting paper, right? Okay, so that's what it's going to look like when I put it through the machine. Let me just grab my plates here. All right, here we go. This label my. Okay. Oh, I guess I do. It's easier when I'm standing up. All right, so we've got those. Get rid of that. Now put our squares up here. So you can, well, I'll show you after because it's out of the screen here, but there we go. All right, now the other things that I need is, so I'm gonna need this piece right here. So that's the flowery one. And I'm also going to need a label. So we're gonna cut those out. Okay. Yep. Okay. Label. Flowers. Oops. There we go. I don't have my pokey tool with me, so I have to try and get this out of the die here very carefully. There we go. All right, so let's set this aside for a second. I'm going to come back to it in a minute. All right, so we're done with that. So here's my squares. And as you can see, so there's my 3 squares and there's my flower. Oh, my label. There we go. And so when I put these on top, you're not even going to see that cut out there. So if you want to save some paper, go ahead and do that, right? All right. So back to our card front. So what I'm going to do is I am going to glue these down. Seem to stick my fingers to everything. I suppose it's inevitable, right? All right. So we're going to put this on a diagonal on the card front. So we're going to center that there. And then we're going to put the second one down That's what I said in the supply list. When you're making these, you want squares that you can layer. So 3 different sizes. And we're going to center that one on top. All right, there we go. One more. All right. Okay, there's the start of our card. Looks good so far. All right, I'm going to set that aside because I want to stamp this piece here. All right, so I'm going to take another scrap piece of paper, excuse me, move out my chair. I'm going to take that stamp there, and I'm going to take, this is the new Summer Splash stamp, or ink, sorry, colors. It's pretty. I really like this one. So it's a nice pop of color when you don't, when you want to use a green, but you don't want to use Mossy Meadow or Old Olive or Garden Green or anything like that. Okay, so I've inked up my stamp, and I'm going to show you a quick little watering color technique. So I've got my spritzer here, and I'm going to take my spritzer and I'm just going to lightly spritz some water on there. And I look like I've gotten a little too much on that side. There we go. All right. So that gives you nice watercolor. Just don't put that in the water. So I'm going to stamp that on there. Hold it for a second or two. There we go. All right. Can you see that? So that's a really cool technique when you want to get more watercolor effect than a perfect stamping. All right. Now I need to die cut this, but I want to make sure that it is dry first. So I'm going to go ahead and please excuse the noise. I'm just going to dry this with the heat tool. There we go. All right. Now I need to die cut. Oops. Let's use the shiny. That's an ink coming off on my table here, so I'm going to clean this up real quick. Don't want those drips getting everywhere. All right. Okay. So now we've got that. We're going to take the dies that match that, and we're going to cut that out. So, oh, I do not have my tape up here to hold my die. That's okay. Can do this. Right, just carefully hold that. Right, bring in the die machine. Just check to make sure it's kind of in the same spot as I move too much. There we go. Push that in just a little bit. There you go. All right. Looks pretty good to me. All right, I think it even got most of the little pieces out, so I don't have to push anything out of there. That's good. So there we go. So now you can see my watercolored leaves. So let's bring this back in. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some liquid glue and we're just going to put a little bit on here. Now what you can do when you're cutting this out, if you think about it in advance, you can actually use the adhesive sheets. Great for little things like this so that you don't have to worry about all this glue on fussy little pieces. I just did not have the adhesive sheets handy, so this will do in a pinch. But like I said, I'm going to save yourself some time and effort. Those are definitely a handy thing to buy. I try to remember them, especially when I'm doing words and stuff like that. Try to remember to use them. All right. So I am going to glue that down, hold it down for a second. There we go. Okay, one down. Let's do the other one, our stamped one. Ooh, goodness. Big glue there. All right, that's okay. Spread that I feel like I'm concentrating here. Concentrating on gluing. Oh, that's funny. I want to make sure that we get this blob here so I don't have it oozing out. There we go. Perfect. All right, there we go. Now we're just going to offset that just a little bit and glue that down. So that color that I used on that background and on the tag here is Petunia Pop. It's another one of the new in colors this year. I really like having that peeking through there. All right. Okay. So what's next? Next, we are going to do our label. Out of the way for a second. And we have our thanks stamp. Oh. All right. And our embossing. Okay, so we're just going to emboss that. So you're going to take your Versamark and you're going to stamp. Thanks. Oh, we want to use our embossing buddy first, remember? All right. And then we're going to stamp thanks on there. And then we are going to bring in our embossing powder. Okay, and I'm just going to heat that up. Perfect. All right, set that aside there. Okay. So there's our sentiment. We're going to pull out the dimensionals, and we want to put a couple of dimensionals on there. All right. Oops. Another one. There we go. Okay. So then you're just going to put your sentiment on the card there. And finally, we are going to take some white thread, and I'm going to make a little bow. And I apologize because I forgot to bring up my glue dots, so I don't have those handy. But what I'm going to do is I'll make my little bow. And I'm going to put it right about there. You know what? We're going to use some liquid glue this time. There we go. There. Ta-da! And that's our card. So it's pretty simple, right? Oh, I forgot the bling. Oh my goodness, we cannot forget the bling. So these are the new Shimmer gems. And so we're going to take a couple of these, put them right here. And then we'll throw another one down over here. There you go. And that's it. Ta-da! So I like that because the card is fairly simple, but you have some dimension to it with the embossing, the popped up tag, the layering squares, and the embossed background. So I hope that you liked that. And we're at about 30 minutes, so I am going to say good night and let you get back to your evening. If you're watching this on replay, I hope that you enjoyed, and hope to see you guys next week. Watch this channel, and you can also check out my Facebook page will have the link to get you here, but don't forget, you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then you'll get notification of all of the whenever I go live or post a video. So I hope that you will join me again, and I hope you have fun and happy creating. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.